everybody, welcome back to Emily's Vintage Visions. Today I thought I'd take you on a quick tour of my sewing room. So here we go. Currently my sewing room is in one of our spare bedrooms, or what used to be a spare bedroom. I've left some of the furniture in here. This piece is a really nice vintage dresser that we picked up at a local shop. I actually have a dressing table that goes with it. This piece has been really handy. I can store a lot of smaller items in it, some small pieces of fabric, gloves, just kind of miscellaneous. The bottom drawers have larger pieces of fabric in it. Over here in the corner, I do have a small closet. It's been great for storing some of my vintage clothing, as well as some of the projects that I've created. Right now you can see two of the blouses that I'm currently working on. These are both 1930s. This one is actually made out of a reproduction cotton, 1930s cotton. Nice little mother of pearl buckle there. Silk ribbon is going to be sewn to the neckline, and the blouse will actually be finished, I've got the pattern here, be finished with this nice little bow detail. That's that one. Over here, another vintage blouse I'm working on. There's the pattern. It's got this great little ruffle detail here on the front, and the sleeves have this little ruching detail there at the ends. So those pieces are pretty much close to being done. Just minor little hemming and buttons and things like that to be put on them. On the wall I have several vintage hats. Hanging them there is just a great way to store them, but it's also just nice to have them on display too, because who doesn't like looking at pretty hats? Here on the dresser you can see some of my items, some vintage books, some postcards, a cat. This is Ava. Say hello, Ava. It's pretty much impossible to keep them out of here. When the door's open, they want to be in here too. So moving right along, this is Disaster Central. The plastic totes, I've got some clothing in them. I have fabric. Some of my unfinished projects are here in this pile. Pieces that need either buttons, zippers, or in need of mending. Ava, what are you doing, sweetie? She just wants to be involved in everything. More fabric up top and more hats. My husband built me these fabulous shelves. Great for storing my hat boxes, a couple little suitcases, more fabric. If you've been following me on Facebook and Instagram, you will see that I picked up literally a stack of vintage silk taffeta. Or I'm sorry, not vintage. This is all new. 100% silk taffeta. There's like several really great pieces in here that I'm going to be listing in my Etsy shop very soon, so stay tuned for that. I set my ironing board up over here in front of the window. It's a nice bright space to work. A couple more unfinished projects. This is one that you have seen me blog about recently. I've used this pattern before. Just need to finish these cute little pockets on there. This has buttonholes, but I need to add the buttons on there. Couple more blouses. This one you've probably seen me wearing. This is another reproduction print. Actually, all three of these are reproduction cottons. Late 1930s. This one might be early 1940s. This is the pattern here. Great little Dubarry piece. These blouses are actually ones that are going to be listed on my Etsy shop as part of my ready-made clothing. This one's got Scotty dogs on it. And one of the things I like about this particular pattern, the sleeves have this nice little pleated detail there. I don't know how well you can see that. I have more of this particular fabric in pink, so if you like Scotty dogs and you like pink, keep that in mind. Those will be coming along shortly. Over here in this corner, more storage, a bookcase with all of my sewing books, fabric books, costumes. Down below I have vintage patterns, stack of vintage magazines. The plastic totes I have tried to organize my patterns in. The bottom one is mostly separates and the top one is more dresses and outerwear. Cardboard boxes are full of patterns to go through and be sorted, so if anyone is looking for particularly 1950s or 1960s patterns, please let me know, because I have a whole lot that I want to go through and de-stash. On the walls, I have Cary Grant and James Stewart. Also a paint sample. I'm contemplating painting my sewing room. Thinking maybe the bottom one. It's not quite as bright a green as it's showing up here in the camera. It's a little more subdued in person. Up top, I got some more hat boxes, more storage. And my sewing machine with a cat walking across it. Again, she just likes to be involved in everything. Must be close to dinner. This is my Janome Memory Craft 3600. This is a really nice machine. It has some features on it that I didn't think I would really need, but now that I have them and I use them, I can't live without them. It's got the automatic thread cutter, and it also has, I don't know how well you can see it, there is a lever that you can pull down that will help you automatically thread your sewing machine needle. Super handy. I love that detail. It also has a variety of different stitches on here, and I've used a number of those. This corner is a little messy. It's sort of dual storage, office space. The filing cabinet has more patterns in it. And then, of course, on the wall, we have more pretty pictures. There's Deanna Durbin in the middle. More paint samples. And on the back of my door, I have this really great straw hat, this extra large sun hat, and a dress that I picked up for a couple of dollars at a local shop. This has some really nice details on the sleeve, some open work there. Unfortunately, it's in really rough shape. There's a lot of splits. The whole thing is really discolored. It's almost as though it was, hanging in a window or something. You can see on the bottom of the skirt, it's pretty well faded. But for, I think $5 might have been what I paid for it. It's a piece that at some point I may take it apart to use as a pattern. I have a hard time dismantling vintage, even if it is in bad shape, but for right now it hangs in the back of my door and just makes a nice little addition to my sewing space. So there you have it. Again, if you have questions, if you have comments, I would love to hear back from you. I always enjoy hearing from my followers. And I hope you all have enjoyed this quick little tour. There we have it. There's the whole room. So until next time, happy sewing!